what happened last week. We wandered around on a beach for a very long time, trying to find out what is going on.
What's the
I'm just seeing
dealio?
if I can bring. Yeah, so we washed up on the beach. We explored our immediate surroundings.
Mm.
We found out that there were paths east, paths west, and potentially a path south to lands if we could make a boat. I believe Zom found some land that he could identify.
He looked through a
So-
periscope and
No, a telescope.
telescope.
It's definitely
and
not a periscope.
It saw land on the distant horizon. You had a view that the jungle was pretty impenetrable, but if you wanted to give it a shot, Ramrod
I
sort of
believe
tried to hack
Ramrod
away
did give it a shot. Yeah, yeah.
and
so.
didn't have any luck. From the highest point, sort of to the west of the beach, as far as you could go,
Furthest
you
west,
got there.
yeah.
You saw some stone ziggurat temple things. Tips of those peering out of the jungle, dense canopy ahead of it.
We
You
also
saw
saw the wreck, I believe, the shipwreck.
ship of the manatee. Still no
Mysteriously
corpses
missing bodies. Yep.
absent. Bodies are absent,
Captain?
which is interestingly absent. And you fought some crabs,
We had-
and then you got
We
a lot of
we had a
crab
crab attack, yeah. Yeah,
You got crab meat,
crab attack.
which is slowly cooking. It's sort of not how it's meant to be cooked, just in the general afternoon sun.
So we're through to after.
And then we started feeling thirsty. Because apparently
Yeah.
we need to drink 2 gallons a day just to live.
2 gallons is a lot. That's
That is a
as we
lot.
discussed this morning, Ian.
8 liters or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Close enough.
But I think it depends, doesn't it? Isn't a UK
British
gallon
or
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure which the rules that I stole that person
No,
from.
it was- It was 18 pints, I think, is what it was.
16 pints, I think it was.
16
Hang on.
pints.
I guess it depends if you were like walking the whole day.
16 pints of water.
Traverse somewhere, you'd drink more, but if you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. One water skin. How much
Does
does
it-
one
Does it calculate character activity?
It's either 7.4 liters or 9 liters.
Is this based on BMI?
Yeah.
Because poor Zom.
I'm picturing on average. So
What about Paul Graham? He has to drink like half his body weight in water.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's on average. On average.
I feel like I should have gone your guys' route and had a camel person. Would have been alright.
Ugh. Well, if our water skin is 5 pounds, that's 2.2 liters of water. So we need to drink 4.
So
water
I've got
skins a day.
here. I've got it. So it says here our water skin is 4 pints, which is enough to sustain one person half a day. You need 2 full water skins per person per day. Two
Oh,
per
wow.
day per person. Yeah. If
Okay.
only there was a supply of water readily available.
Alright, how are we going to
Fresh water.
desalinate it, guys? How are we going to desalinate it?
Well, we got mirrors. Do we have a
Let's
task
spend the next-
to collect the condensation?
Yeah. Just trying to see what kind of spells I've got to make that work, but I don't have anything like that.
You know, there was actually a spell I think available for the druid. The create.
Desalinate water.
It was something along those lines.
Hydro desal plant.
Yep.
Conduit.
There certainly was that spell, and I was wondering if you were going to take it,
Well, I
knowing
mean,
that would make
Yeah.
your life infinitely easier now.
it
And there
would,
was
but
also a good berry to feed us for the entire day.
yeah.
Yeah.
In fairness, you guys do have 35 pounds of crab meat or something absurd.
Yeah,
But
that's
no
correct.
butter. No butter. What are we gonna do?
Check it out.
Just waste it.
Useless. Yeah.
Dom, have you got teeth? Oh no, actually, it would be more like
I
Bob.
do now.
Yeah, goat
Some
milk.
feta.
You want me
Yeah,
to? You want me to milk onto the crab meat? Milk myself onto the crab meat?
Yeah, I
Hang on,
don't
this
think
is
I
going in a
want
whole
male
different
goat
direction.
milk.
You don't. You don't
I don't want the male goat milk. Thank you.
not a crab. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So I guess the first thing
cream
we'll
of
do
crab.
is as we what time of the day is it? Is it afternoon?
I'd say it's getting now early afternoon. I mean, it would take you
Early
a bit of
afternoon.
time to traverse the beach.
Yeah, did we finish looking at this site, didn't we?
This was
Yeah.
you were walking
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we were
You
walking back. I'm just going to say because now that we have survival rules in place, perhaps it might be best if a couple of us stay here and start preparing a shelter in case we need to be here the night, while the rest of us go and finish exploring the rest of the beach.
So you would, from where you can tell from here, you would estimate looking down the beach. It's probably going to take you the rest of the afternoon to get there and back, even like without doing any exploring. Like you sort of
Yeah.
here, where you are here, you're not quite in the middle. You're a bit further west.
Ramrod, do you think you and perhaps someone else here, I'm using Ramrod because Isaac's not here, might stay here and maybe work on setting up a makeshift camp? And Ramrod is like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea for my time. So yeah, leave me here. I will work with what I've got. He looks around at I guess the wrecks of the lifeboats and the chests, and is like, I'll see what I can whip up.
Okay. I have rules for various types of shelters. So do you guys want to have a discussion about what type of shelter you want to build here?
Have a stick-stain chapel in there or anything? Or?
Well, there's one that's described as a debris. If you want to use these boat wreckages,
Mm-hmm.
that would probably be best described as either a debris hut or a lean-to tent, I would say.
Probably a debris hut.
Okay.
Are they elephant sized?
I mean, yeah.
It could be lean to tent, but made out of wood.
Yeah, that was sort of what I was thinking. You'd kind of like prop
Yeah.
these cliffs here are sort of
That's okay.
cliffula, so you could kind of prop yourself up against.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Cliffula. So you
They're
can prop
cliffula.
Ah, yes.
The old
The-
cliffular cliffs. Yes.
Are
I think
they?
you guys seeing as I'm not sure how much you like to escape your work, but seeing as all sort of, as far as I know, have like engineering, designy, buildy type backgrounds. I thought you might like to do something like that. Then I also thought
Okay.
you might want to just escape reality and not have anything to do like that kind of stuff. So
Oh no, Iris will definitely start drawing in the sand a title block along with.
To be fair,
So,
having the
details
ability
of
to
the
just hit the
project.
design button is something that I've long wanted.
Hmm.
all right, so
Yeah, that would be
so
nice.
Ramrod's doing it. Ramrod's going to take care of shelter.
Ramrod's gonna take care of it.
And you guys have got plenty of rope, don't you? You picked up 5 50-foot ropes the other day.
550?
So you'd need to sacrifice one of those.
Yeah, easily. I think he's got one. Do you want to give me
And-
access to Ramrod if you need me to run any
Yeah, I'll give you Ramrod access and
click
then we'll
any
just quickly,
abilities?
We'll just quickly this sorted, and then Ramrod can sort of be done, and you guys can.
Are these cliffalicious cliffs rough-hewn cliffs?
I kind of picture them. How do I kind of picture them? Just normal.
Are there any
cliffs, really. Like,
caves?
they're not smooth. Roll a survival. No, an investigation check, Graham. An investigation check.
Oh, I prefer survival.
You can't see any natural caves that would be big enough for you to make a shelter in here.
What about just for Graham to make a shelter?
They're all pretty smooth.
Okay.
Sort of a grey, hard stone. Straight up and down. wouldn't be overly easy to climb. Hey, Ramrod, if you can roll a survival check.
Yeah, alright. So I'm just looking to see if Ramrod has any spells that might help in this situation.
Doesn't have a spellcasting focus though.
That's true. That is true.
Ooh.
There's a spell
I believe the Styx Saint Chapel might be underway.
Pretty well.
It was Isaac last time as well, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys,
but absent Isaac. It's always absent Isaac.
Ramrod sort of looks, as Iris suggests, that maybe he could have a go at knocking up some shelter. He sort of, I think I will. He starts busying himself, and you guys don't know what he's doing. Looks
Zom's
like
going to
he-
help in any way he can in breaking down
He-
wood and bringing him
You
shit
can
like that, you know.
break down some wood. I mean, you can roll a survival.
I was gonna
check.
say, just as Zom goes over to start doing stuff, Iris is just gonna like tug on his shoulder, on his sleeve, and just be like, "Let's leave him to it. We've got
He's got
the
a-
rest of the beach to explore before we."
Ramrod sort of.
He's got lots of
hopping
time.
Yes, of course.
It's almost like he is appreciating not having his sort of magic, spiritual self answer to at the moment.
The basics.
Yeah, he's channeling his inner habit and like feeling the hovel he was born into, like feel it within, and he wants to do something like that. His home, of his childhood home. But yeah, Iris just pats you and Tom, you stop.
You know when those missionaries they end up going to the third world countries and help build homes, and they really get that appreciation. I think that's what he's going through right now. Let's leave him to it, and we'll move on. We'll come back.
But he doesn't completely destroy the local population as well. Anyway, let's
Fine.
we'll move.
It's fine.
All right.
I'll just last thing before we leave is I'll just say to Ramrod, when you're ready for us, if everything's done and ready, do you think you can use whatever's left at the driftwood to like start a bonfire and I guess signal us to come back?
He doesn't even sort of stop to look at you, but you know that he's heard you.
Cool. All right.
Got those big ears.
You guys are headed east.
Headed east.
This beach here, which was the beach that you guys washed up on.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Ah,
Here.
sorry. Yeah. That. Yeah. Is the water's flowing out from the jungle here?
Here, the water's.
Is it? I thought it was flying in.
Is this an
Has to
outlet?
be flowing out. There's no
Is it flying this way?
that does that.
It's just,
Yeah,
I just
that-
want.
Look at the waterfall here. It's flowing out to the ocean.
I hope
Okay,
so.
good. I'm just gonna stick my hand in and test the water to make sure that it's drinkable.
So dropping to your knees, you place your hands cupped into the cool water of the creek. A steady flow indicates freshness, and its surface is intermittently broken with floating debris from the forest. You know, there's some sticks and leaves. As you plunge your hands in, its
I avoid the leaves and sticks.
its cool temperature is refreshing on your skin. Are you going to?
Yeah.
I pull my
bring it.
stumps out.
You eagerly bring a handful of it to your mouth. You do a nature check, please.
A nature check for Iris is probably not going to go to 15. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good for a level 2.
Yeah. You just feel like a tiny little. It's water, but it's just a little bit of like, no, it just feels a little bit. Could just be because it's flowing through the jungle. It's just got a little bit of.
Sure.
Shit.
I'm pretty thirsty. I'm gonna stick my whole head in and drink as much as I can.
Gulp greedily at the water from your cupped hands.
Yep.
It refreshes you deeply initially. You go to
Okay.
stand from your crouched
Did you-
position. The well
did you-
starts to spin.
So did you drink
Ooh.
the 2 gallons at once?
And
May have had a bit too much.
deep burn comes up from your insides. Your mouth salivates wildly, producing a thick, acrid saliva in line with your dehydrated state. You drop back on all fours and your body heaves with the force of the vomit. Projectiles across the creek and pools on the sand, with green bilious state reflecting the sky gently. You collapse on the ground, face down in the sand, regretfully eyeing the water you just drank. On closer inspection, as you're laying there, sort of looking across, you notice that there's a subtle, sort of oily, rainbowy tinge to the surface of it. You rub your wet hands together, and you now notice that there's a distinct oiliness. You couldn't quite put your finger on it before, but now you feel that there's a distinct oiliness. As you look sort of up the creek towards the rainforest, perception check, please.
From
From
past our Iris.
Iris.
From
Iris,
Iris,
she's
who's
not-
face
she's
down in
not-
the sand.
She's not. Oh no. She's not face down. She's sort of laying like on the face, looking across the.
Yeah, no, her head's still spinning. She kind of like looks at looks at her hands, looks at the water, and like looks back to the group, and she's just like, "It's probably just a coincidence. You guys should." Oh,
Didn't notice anything, either anything like that.
So
Feeling
with the
Can,
Pretty
go on,
stream,
Jez.
brutal.
does it look like we could move inland from the stream, or is the forest like would have to be in the water to move inland?
Well, it's not that deep. You could probably walk. You reckon you could probably between sort of walking along the edge of the creek and up the middle of the creek. You reckon you could probably track in a fair bit.
So it's a potential way.
Before we do that, can Zombie test the water? See if I can discern what this oily substance is.
And how wide is this? Can we easily cross it? Did you say we could easily cross it?
Yeah, you
Just
can
step
easily
across
cross
without
it.
touching the water?
Yeah, it's like you could, or Graham, you might struggle, but I would imagine you'd be able to run and jump it. And there's sort of a few narrow, like by walking the length of the beach, the creek, like through the as far as it goes up the beach, you'd be able to find a spot where you could sort of not get your feet wet jumping across it.
Yeah, he was just going to chuck a few sticks or rocks or whatever in to get across without touching the water. Was his intent if he couldn't just jump across. So, yeah.
You get across the creek fine.
So the water
Yeah.
itself is... You can't really stand in it.
Don't know.
You don't know. You can stand in it. You can try and stand in it if you'd like.
But,
Iris-
Graham just didn't want to get his feet wet.
I was gonna say Bob's already
Dunked
walked
her
through
hand
it.
in Just walks through it, and he didn't notice anything. Passed through it fine. Seemed
Just
to.
got my leg for
No,
it.
So I
it's
think
or
the
anything
water's
like that.
just no good to drink then, that's all.
but hold on one
Hey.
second. If the oily residue is on the top of the water, Zom,
Correct.
put your snout, your trunk,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I was also
very.
thinking.
Put it down into the water and drink from the bottom. See if you get anything that tastes a bit better.
Would that also not mean that when you dunked your head under the water, you would have avoided all of the oily residue on top?
I don't know. You tell me, man. I'm not feeling great. Oh, I've got that dehydrated headache.
Bob's
Yeah,
gonna be
so
trying to
you
help
should,
Iris up.
Zom's going to test the water. I'll bring up a bit in my trunk, but I won't drink it. I just want to be able to test it the way I have been used to testing things.
Do a nature. as you sort of, I'm imagining you're basically doing the equivalent of having a mouthful of water, swishing it around and spitting it out, but in your trunk.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah.
As you're sort of swishing it around a bit, and you detect that there's something unnatural in it. Something that's contaminating the water.
Yes, it's tainted. Tainted with something. Something.
Bob's gonna offer Iris part of his water skin to have a drink and help wash the vomit out of her mouth and that kind of stuff.
I'm going to spin my trunk around like a centrifuge and try and split up all of the different layers.
You're not able to separate the various layers of the water.
Yes, yeah, that's
What about if you fill your trunk with sand to work as a filter? And some coal from the fire.
Where's the filter
and
media?
some...
That's not actually a bad idea though. Filtering water through sand like that. Get like one of our clothes or something like that.
Well,
get
we found
sand and then just put it through.
We found a brazier earlier, didn't we? So we can fill up that. Or am I thinking of something else I was listening to or watching? Did we find some sort of pot? No? Okay.
We found a dining set, a 7-person dining set. I don't know if you've been able to pick something out of that.
It is how water treatment plants work. Using, like, effectively sand to filter it, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, let's explore the other side.
Yeah, right.
We'll help Iris up. We'll give her some of my water. She can have a pint out of my water skin.
We're all going on to the next page.
Yeah, is Iris able to follow us? Or is she incapacitated?
No. She just vomited.
Okay.
It just produced
I'm
a
just
very...
extra dehydrated.
Alright.
sickly.
She'll be right. Don't worry about it.
Just have a bit from your water skin.
Oh,
No, there's no extra dehydration. You're just
berries.
generally dehydrated. Right. Turn and walk past the small creek on the beach towards what seems a much more ragged looking coast. As you walk further along, the smell of beach and ocean is given into a much more earthy, organic smell. Here the jungle ventures closer to the water. As you pass between them, you can almost feel the eternal struggle between the land and the water, neither willing to give an inch to the other. The jungle seems thicker along here, if it were even possible, though there are some small channels to allow an egress, albeit ever so slightly into its depths. The sand loses its golden luster as the organic biomass of leaf litter, berries and other plant matter mix with it. The water here appears to be more turbulent, but presumably owing to the higher amount of organic matter along this part of the beach, a rich sea garden can be seen from the shallows. From the edge of the water you can see some larger fish swimming, their bodies contorted by the unrelenting roll of waves. So you see 3 paths going into the jungle here.
One for each of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should all split up.
far do they go before we can't see any further?
You can't see the end of them from the beach.
Is this the end
These
of the
fish look...
beach?
I shall.
From where you are, you like go sort of curve and jungle. Can't really see much past where they sort of. But you can see.
I'm going to sort of gingerly start walking up into this first one.
Yeah. Anyone going to follow? Just going to
Yeah.
read it. I'll read it. As your curiosity gets the better of you and you track down the thin path to your left, you feel engulfed by the overwhelming nature of the forest. The trunks of the trees lining the path are twisted and gnarled, vines as thick as arms wrap around them, symbiotically thriving and growing together. To your left, a large, shadowy figure, slowly prowling in the distance, catches your eye. He is aware of your presence, yet interested in its egress into its domain. Path
Is this the
narrows.
same? Sorry.
It's the same shadowy shape. path slowly narrows after about 15 meters to a small clearing. In the clearing is a single tree. It is laden with berries, which are blue, the diameter about the size of a coin. There are a number of large, bright yellow birds within the tree, seemingly happily eating the berries. They're entirely oblivious to your approach. The ground.
I cast Eldritch Blast and knock one of the birds out of the sky.
Bird falls.
You don't. Okay. Just gonna roll the hit.
Sure. There's, a lot of birds there. I'm picturing as you shoot, they all shoot up into a storm of birds, and you hit and you kill a bird. Congratulations,
Okay.
Iris. You killed some nature. Well done.
Ah,
As it falls to the ground,
Hang on, before Zom looks in a very disgruntled manner at Iris. That was not.
I understand your misgivings, Zom.
It was an innocent bird.
But we need to eat, and this crab meat is not going to last forever.
There's a lot of crab meat. There's a lot of meat, but there's a lot of crab meat.
this yellow bird,
There's fish. There's fish. That was an innocent bird.
as opposed to the guilty
Innocent
fish.
The crab meat.
You want me to kill- So Zom, which part of nature is okay to murder? Which is undeserving of life?
My head is still affected by coronavirus. I'm not quite sure.
That is an odd thing for an elephant to say. But all right, we
Can
The yellow,
yeah, okay.
yellow bird that you hit, falls to the ground. You notice that underneath the tree, there's a large number of dead birds, which are all blue. Yellow bird that fell, the same as all the yellow birds that were in the tree. There's all dead blue birds on the ground. This is the only yellow dead bird there.
Okay. I'm gonna take one of each.
The bluebirds are relatively rotted. They don't appear to have the ones that are fresher, ones that are sort of less rotted. But they're covered in bird feces, but they don't appear to have any wounds on them. They just appear to be dead.
Can I just?
You can take.
Has anyone got a sharp object on them? A knife, a dagger, or something?
You mean like a sword?
I mean,
Bob pulls out a dagger. No, actually, rolled a surrender roll, which I did. Yes. Bob pulls out nothing.
all right. I'm gonna take the long sword. I was really hoping to have someone would have a short sword or a dagger or something. I didn't want to use a long sword to do this.
Be graphic.
I just want to, try and cut open the belly of the bluebird and cut open the belly of the yellow bird, and just see where things differ. And because my suspicion is that the bluebirds have eaten the berries and have died and shit themselves, dying from it, but the yellow birds have some sort of immunity to it.
Can you roll a? You've explained it pretty well. What you want to do, so it's probably just going to be a single. I'm not going to make an attack. Maybe a sleight of hand as you're sort of deftly trying to. The long sword.
With inspiration, of course.
Of course. You sort of feel around the rib cage. You sort of hold it in a very strange way, and you just surgically excise the organs, and you identify the stomach with ease, and you find that both birds' stomachs are full of blueberries.
Okay, guys. So I'm guessing, and I quickly show it to everyone. I'm like, it looks like these yellow birds may have adapted to eat these berries, which I'm going to guess are very poisonous. And the blue ones here, I suspect, well, if you were not adapted to eat them, you would eat them, then you'd shit yourself and die. Or die then shit yourself. I'm not sure. but I'm not planning to find any.
Interesting. Zom would like to examine. Zom would like to examine the berries.
Here you go, big guy.
Crush,
And I
You
hand
want
him
to
both
examine
birds.
a berry?
crush the berry, smell the berry. Very, very,
The
tastes just a little
It's
bit.
like a wine connoisseur.
blueberries are
Basically.
light for their size. They've sort of got a bit of a, you feel that you expect them to be denser than they actually are. They've, you put a bunch in your hand, they feel really light. They're actually kind of shriveled a little bit as well. Their smell reminds you of a fruit market you once visited. Overtly sort of sweet. They don't have that sort of like sweet, overburdening berry smell, but there's a faint sort of sweetness to it. They're quite fruity.
Would Zom already know something about this tree? Or this berry?
A nature check.
I'm going to use my inspiration too.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you were serious when you said I had it before.
There was. You're entirely unfamiliar with these berries.
Oh, that's
You wanna-
right. I'll
Do you want to
continue.
eat one or
No, I'm not going to eat one. I'm going to test one, and like when you see the cop sort of just dab his finger into the cocaine and just go.
So you're
Yeah, it's
going to crush one in your hand
Yeah, well,
and then
Yeah, okay,
put,
crush one in my
put a
hand.
bit of the juice of it on your finger and
And
lick
go
it.
his hoofs.
yep, something like that.
You roll a d4, please. As you get the juice and pulp from the berry on your finger, at your long tongue, and your tongue burns, acidic burn all along your sort of right where it touches up, and you get 2 points of berry damage.
Not acidic damage, berry
Not
damage.
Not
Okay.
acidic damage, it's berry damage.
Being
Um,
a druid, does he have reduced berry damage resistances?
But you notice that he gets 2 points rather than 4 points that he rolled, and that was because he only ate a bit of it. And you sort of like you notice that actually, yeah, where it was on your hand and on your finger, that's actually quite burning as well.
Right.
But does he
is there
feel
some-
refreshed?
Is there some way? So I would like to look around for some sticks or something like that. I would
There are
like to
a lot
sharpen.
of sticks around.
Yep, I want to sharpen some sticks, chuck some of the berries onto the points of sticks, and create a weapon.
Okay. Well, you do have I believe,
For
you've got
everybody.
a pouch there that you could collect some of these berries with.
Oh,
That might be a better way
yeah.
of doing it.
Yeah. No, we'll do it that way then.
All right. Let me just go to the foraging rules that I have. How long do you want to spend? And that you just want to grab a bunch of them.
Just grab a bunch of them. Yeah, all I want to do is make like a toxic point for weapons, so that we've all got something to defend ourselves.
As
Roll,
long as we don't attack anything
Well, D-
yellow.
roll a d1.
Yeah.
Roll a d100.
Ooh, that's always dangerous.
You find 74 berries that are easy to get.
All.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think I need that many, but yeah, all right.
You have them all now.
It's a pretty well laden tree, right? Like you've got plenty of them around. They seem in season.
Don't put them in your water skin.
The birds have all flown away because they're freaking terrified of an eldritch blast that killed one of them.
Don't squish the berries either.
So what are they? Just blueberries, are they?
Blueberry.
Right. Okay.
Blue spaceberry.
Blueberries. Blueberry. Blueberries, you would have gotten 2 points of delicious damage.
That sounds much better.
Yeah. When you put it like that, I want 2 points of delicious damage.
Alright, so you guys do anything else in this sort of left clearing?
Well, Zom's gonna hit the forest in the same way that we hit it before. just to see if it's in the same sort of magical type presence or something. You
That
know,
was
thickness
a
and-
clearing with that tree, and that was it. Then it's just dead end because it's a circle forest.
It's sort of a
Yeah, but
circle.
the wasn't the
You
edge
can-
of the forest.
Yeah,
like
there's
you said the
more.
edge of the forest is really dense.
Yeah.
Is it
So-
all sort of like a
Alright.
magical density to prevent us from going further? That's what I'm trying to ascertain. You know, if I wanted to step into the dense foliage here, could I do so?
No, you couldn't walk straight into it.
Right. So I want to try and part some of the forest to be able to walk into it.
Trample?
Trample, yeah.
Do a
Use
a
my
strength,
trunk as well.
strength check. Anyone want to help him?
Yeah, sure.
To it.
This sounds like fun. So strength check, helping him. Yeah, sure.
No, strength check. That's the save.
Oh, sorry. Oh, classic. There we go. Much better.
So, Dom,
Big
you
difference.
have collected your berries, and you're sort of like just looking at the jungle, looking around, and you see like a bit of a, you can see a tree, and you're like, ooh, pretty clued on with this nature bizzo, and you're like, ooh, that's a rotted tree. Tree's rotten. I reckon I could press that thing down, and that's gonna knock out a clearing there. And you look up and you see, if I knock that tree down, that tree's going to go as well because it's sort of leaning across it a bit, and you're, ooh, the chance here. So you sort of size it up and you take a few steps back and you charge straight into it, and you feel it give, and you hear a crack, and it comes back. Harris, you see Zom doing this. Go.
I like to picture that the camera in a movie is watching like Zom press against the foliage, and you see it like kind of cracking but not giving way, and then in the background you just see Iris running full sprint into like the thing trying to hit it and just bounces off and then falls to the
And
ground.
as you hit it, it gives a bit more and cracks, and it falls. And as it falls, it knocks down another tree.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that didn't make much of a sound. That was
You were able to knock down a tree, but it just wasn't quite enough to clear it. Here,
Okay.
you would probably think that you just weren't quite strong enough.
okay.
Right,
So
jungle,
we'll just assume that it's impenetrable.
Be.
I
not.
Um,
Hey,
hmm.
Zom, I think you're on the right path here. Maybe we need to find a better access. Should we try those other paths?
Yes, we should.
All right. Hey, Graham, how
Keen
you
to
going
see
with
what's
that?
in here.
Are you is it pretty obvious that Graham is looking for sticks to make a spear?
Yeah, I'd say it would be.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yes,
got a whole bunch
actually.
of sticks. Trying to make a pointy stick. He's grinding him against rocks. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of rocks here in the actual clearing.
Excuse me.
In the actual
No, he's not in the clearing. He's by that
He's
rock
here.
thing that's on the
No,
map.
he never went
Oh.
into the clearing. He's
Okay.
just been sitting on the beach.
in that instance, yeah,
He
yeah,
ignored
you're
us. He spent the whole time stick grinding.
pulling away.
Yeah.
Right, I thought you had gone in the clearing.
No. He's just
Yeah,
been
yeah.
wandering around looking for sticks to make into spears.
Yeah, there's a few around here. There's quite a few actually.
Okay.
Um,
His intent is to make it reasonably sharp. He also has. He's gonna attach a piton or python, whatever they're called. They use in rock climbing. They're like a sharp spike, like a metal spike.
Like a
It's
crampon. Isn't it
Uh,
the thing you use?
Have you got those?
well, they're in his Dungeoneer's pack.
Yeah, it comes
Okay.
default.
Apparently.
Yep.
So he has 10 of those along with his hammer.
I've got some nails. Do you want to put the nails into it as well?
I could make that into a barb, yes.
All right, I hand Graham the nails I've got. I don't have anything to hit it in besides this. Oh wait, have you got what kind of sticks have you got there? Because I've got the head of a hammer. Perhaps I.
I've got a hammer.
I've got a hammer and a
Ah,
crowbar.
Oh, and then she just like looks at the hammerhead and just throws it back into the water.
Hammer time.
Okay, so I'd like for Graham to have made a rudimentary spear, basically.
Okay, no, that's a good idea. What check would I like you to do for that? That's probably worth. Just...
Intelligence.
I think it's probably going to take a couple.
Woodwork.
Let me just have a look at the list.
Carpentry.
All right. Well, you think of that. I'm just gonna be like, hey, Bob. I don't mean to be insensitive, but you are, unlike the others here. You seem to be more of a magical being. I would say, as opposed to your typical half something, half other thing, like Mr. Loxodon and Mr. Herringon over there. Are you getting any odd vibes from this island, this forest?
I have no idea. I was actually going to ask you because I saw that on the ship I threw that magic energy and then you threw that magic energy. I was wondering if you knew what was going on and what's happening to me because I just got told to come to the... Did we meet at the Gnome and Dragon? Yeah, anyway, where we
We
met.
did meet at the Gnome and Dragon.
The dragon top
And
side.
then I got on this ship, and then there were shadows, and then there was darkness, and I could hear gurgling, and then I woke up on the
Yeah,
beach.
I did mean to ask about that. I got the same note to meet at the Gnome and Dragon and get on the ship. And then we got on the ship and everything went to shit. But there was a man on the deck of the ship who, I may be mistaken here, but I believe he was looking directly at you and maybe a couple of the others.
Yeah, I saw
And he
him
was
looking at us.
some sort of
It was
scroll.
weird. And,
Did you know who he was?
I assume I didn't, Mr. DM man.
No. Absolutely no idea. You didn't get a good enough look at him.
Insight check! No, I'm not going to do that. That just seems like something Phil would do.
Does.
Um,
Zom, Phil.
no, it's something Agaon would do.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, 3 hours after the fact.
So, Graham, you're going to do a survival check to find a stick, or a series of sticks for however many you want to build. It's one survival check. An intelligence check to design it, and a dexterity check to make it.
Okay. I mean, he did have a spear previously, so he should be.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
DCs are going to be pretty low. Have you found an assortment of good sticks to do? How many were you hoping to make?
Oh, I was just gonna make one, but he has enough to make about 10 if he needs to. Does anyone else want a spear? He telepathically says to everyone within range. Does anyone else want a spear?
Who said
He
that?
just waves. He just waves.
Oh. I just kind of look at Zom and Bob. I'm like, did you guys just...
That
hear-
wasn't.
It
That
just
wasn't
says
you.
it was me. He just keeps waving, just telepathically again.
Whoa.
Well, that's some pretty cool shit.
Can you do that? I say to Zom.
No. Look, it was what's his name? Graham.
Graham. Graham hasn't thought of saying it's Graham. He just says it's me again, and just waves.
Whoa, wait.
I think it's Graham. I think it's pronounced Graham.
Grey ham.
Oh,
I'd say.
it's Graham.
Graham.
Ham.
Grey ham.
Oh,
Graham.
Graham.
I don't think. No, that doesn't sound right. It's definitely Graham. I'm pretty sure
Graham.
the H.
Graham?
I'm pretty sure the H and the A are silent.
Graham.
All right.
We're doing a ground.
So,
Is that what's happening?
Walk over to Graham, which with Zom, I suppose, and Bob.
Yeah, and Zom's collected like a bunch of sticks already for this exact purpose, and compares them to the sticks that Graham and Bob have collected, and like throws his away because they're inferior.
It now becomes apparent to you what Graham is doing. So if anyone wants to help him with his design, they can add to the intelligence check.
Ooh, intelligence check. Yeah.
I was going to use
Wait.
inspiration.
Oh, okay, fine. You want to get rid of it? That's fine. You can. I'll give you that. Yep.
Okay.
Who wants to help? Okay.
I'll need to use it otherwise.
He's got it.
He's done it. He's done it. Yeah. You've seen plenty of spears. You've held plenty of spears. Know your way around a spear. Scratch
It's
a
the
little
only
design
weapon he
in the
knows how
ground.
to use.
Throw together a few things on the ground. Do the dexterity check to see if you can make one. Look at it.
Quick.
Fine looking spear. A series of fine looking spears.
Sweet.
I mean, we're not going to
so-
win any wars with these things, but they're definitely going to do the trick.
Yeah, but they only need to hit once.
Has pointy end and also has ability to be thrown. It looks like you've done a pretty good job.
All right, so
Speed.
Zom's going to get the ornate Knights of Schnurg bowl. I'm going to chuck a bunch of berries into it. I'm going to grab a rock, mash up the berries in there, dip the tip of the spear in, smear it all around the tip of the spear. And I'm
Wasn't
going
he
to do that to
fishing
all of
with
them.
it?
I mean,
Yeah.
sure. How many? Oh, aren't we making a bunch of spears?
Yeah.
How many are you making?
Let's make 5. Maybe 5 spears.
Each get a spear.
Well,
Yeah,
so how you
serendipitous.
allocate
There's
it?
5 of us.
There's
Are you going
4
to
of
use
us,
them?
Zom.
Raw, you ran once.
We-
At the beach.
Wait.
We are 5.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes,
that makes
on the island. Yes.
You forget.
What are you going to do with the berries?
I have quite a headache right now. I don't know if you were aware, because I'm kind of starting to forget a bit as well, but I threw up about a half an hour ago.
Oh no, I remember. Have another drink of water, I'd suggest, just to.
Yeah, so she's going to drink from
Get-
her ivory flask.
Hey, what
Ivory
what is
horn.
that thing? Where did you get that?
Oh, I've had this the whole time.
You haven't brought this out in front of me before. Where did you get it?
I literally did.
I
twice.
despise this material. Despise it. Did you have any hand in making it?
Oh, sorry. Oh, no. This is not from a. This is not from a creature of your ilk. This is from. Hold on, I actually wrote down where it's from.
Does Zom recognize any relatives in the ivory fingerprint
Let
DNA?
me just.
Cousin Gretel.
I did write it down. I'm positive I wrote it down what it was. I just seem to have written ivory, but I thought this was from a. Yeah, no, all right. I didn't write it down, so she's just like, it's just a magical trinket I've had for quite a while.
Inside check. It's elephant.
Is it?
All right.
Is it still the same? It's still the same flask that does it still have the same contents? It doesn't, does it?
No. I choose the contents at the beginning of the day when I first open it.
What did you choose for today?
Oh, I chose. I think it would have been
4 gallons of water.
Let me just take a look.
Ho 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 and a bottle
Yeah,
of rum.
exactly it
Yeah.
was.
While Ian's While Iris is trying to work out what she wants to drink, what are you guys going to do?
Go fishing.
Yeah, well, we can leave one spear untainted, or a couple of spears untainted, or whatever. Look, we'll go fishing. We'll have an extra spear for fishing or whatever. I just want to have a bunch of spears for each of us with poison on the end of it, so that if we can attack something, we can defend ourselves. That's the purpose. So we all have spears.
Do these... What type of attack do the spears have? If we did have to use them in an attack.
So I think
Explosive area of effect, by any chance?
Yeah.
it's having a look.
It's got a bunch of
50-foot
different
radius.
things that this thing can have, but not a single one of them is water.
So I think you've made just a simple spear.
Yep.
With those rolls,
Yep.
just
I'm happy with that.
the compendium a spear.
Yep.
And I have proficiency with spear, but you have a spear.
Ah. I just kind of look at Zom. I say, "Oh, it's actually from the tooth of a dragon turtle, I believe, Zom. So it's not of your ilk."
Dragon turtle. I've heard of such a creature. I've never seen one. I had no idea that they had grown ivory. Wonder how they evolved to do that.
I think
Something I will
some
look
parts
up in
of
the
their
future.
physiology.
There's certainly something I will investigate in the future. I would love to come across one. I'd love to find one. It'd be very interesting.
I think I'd like to see one from a safe distance.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it would preferably be dead.
Guys, there's another path up here. Well, Graham's very happily busy fishing. Should we check that out?
Yeah, let's go. No time like the present.
Graham, if you wanted to go fishing, you would probably, looking around at how you are here, you would think you would probably need to spend a couple of hours to your eye in. Like, it's not, you can't just throw a spear and hope to get something. You're going to have to remove yourself from helping out whatever these guys are doing for at least a bit of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think Graham's happy to do that. He's used to sitting there meditating like a monk, so... I mean, as a monk.
Alright, cool. Just check.
There's two.
If
do we want this
if we,
or do we want the right one?
I mean, might as well go in order. Let's go down the middle one.
Yeah, middle one. Alright. Thank
Graham, if we yell, just come running to help us out, right? Not that we will.
Okay. He just nods.
And keep an eye on Ramrod.
And for the fire.
Okay.
Flanked by, as you sort of walk down this middle path, flanked by thin strips of thick rainforest either side, you'll make your way down the middle of the three paths. Despite these strips of rainforest being only a few meters thick at the start, sort of like here, it's not very far at all. You struggle to see paths that you know are not far from you. Canopy quickly thickens over your heads, bringing you to near darkness. Ahead, you see a small clearing. As you approach it, a strong gust of wind breaks the thick canopy above you, allowing light to shine through like fingers from some celestial being, illuminating the pollen and small insects that fill the air. Now closer to the clearing, you see a tree entwined in a thick vine. The tree is laden in berries, both yellow and blue. On closer inspection, you notice the yellow berries are sprouting from small extensions on the vine, entrapping the tree. At this point, attention turns to the vast number of birds, all different colours within the tree, weighing down the branches. Few turn their heads and inspect you with their beady eyes, but the majority continue to eat at the berries, ravenously devouring their fill.
Are there blue birds?
So you said
There are
blueberries and
bluebirds.
yellowberries?
Blueberries, yellowberries, there
And
are
the
bluebirds, there are yellowbirds.
Alright. Is it that the yellowbirds are eating the blueberries and the bluebirds are eating the yellowberries?
Roll a perception check.
Yeah, I'm on this as well because I did the dissection on the previous one.
How many 20s have we rolled? 3 20s tonight?
You guys are rolling well tonight.
4 20s?
Been a few. I mean, from where you can see, it looks like the berries are being eaten by sort of the bluebirds are eating the yellowberries. The yellowbirds are eating the blueberries. It looks like.
Eldritch Blast to the bluebird.
They all shoot up, do an Eldritch Blast. There's a lot of birds flying and circling around.
And I guess I'll roll for that.
Iris,
13.
what do you?
Yeah, that
Never
hits.
mind.
Congratulations, Iris! You killed another bird.
And Bob's gonna grab one of the yellow berries and just sort of mush it between his fingers and pay attention to see if there's any sort of burning, stinging sensation.
The yellow berry you got in your hand. It's quite a plump, almost to the point of bursting, and they smell really sweet as you bring it to your face. You're not going to bite into it, are you?
No, I said
You're going to
squish it in
smell
my.
it.
I'm gonna squish it in my hand
Yeah, you
and see
smell
if
it. You squish it in
makes
your
my
hand.
hand burning sensation.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't initially make your hand burn. It feels like almost soapy. Your hand, like as you rub your hands together, it kind of feels quite soapy. But it does. And it kind of is a little bit warm. You wouldn't want to put it in your mouth, I'll say.
Just gonna keep paying attention to my hand and see how it feels over the next few minutes.
It's getting warmer. It's getting warmer.
Yeah, you're wiping on the ground. On some foliage, some poison ivy.
You wipe it on a big palm front nearby. It's fine. You do notice that the palm front sort of starts to, where you've wiped it, it looks like it's eating away at it a little bit.
This island's shit. There's nothing to eat.
Iris just has got a berry ready to eat in her mouth, and she's looking at the palm frond where Bob just wiped his hand. Is like,
Zom wonders if this would mix with the other berries to form an even more potent or dangerous item.
Turns out they cancel each other out.
Yeah,
Just make something
potentially.
edible.
C4.
Damn.
oh,
You want to
That's
try?
actually
Do you
a-
want to try that?
that's actually a good point. Does the heat from the one berry kill the poison in the other?
Yes, we will combine a couple of berries.
So, how are you going to just chuck them in your mouth? Yellow, one blue at the same time? Or are you going to hold them in your hand,
Now-
swish them up, lick them? What
Now,
do you do?
just think about that scenario for a second.
Iris
No.
is pretty happy with the idea of it, and as Zom's kind of like debating what to do, Iris just takes one of each berry and puts them both in her mouth at the same time and starts chewing.
No! Oh,
Mouth.
Oh.
Right.
Mouth tingles.
Head
And it's like
explodes.
one side is like, oh, that's got a bit of heat in it. And as you're sort of like moving it around in your mouth, you're like, oh, actually, quite nice. It's nice. They're quite nice together. The flavors mix really nicely together, and you're like, it's good.
Iris drops down dead.
And you don't drop dead. You like reach for another yellow and
She-
blueberry to eat. You feel good.
She grows to 7 times her size.
None of that happens. She just goes, that was yummy. It was weird, but like it was kind of felt like it was going to burn me, but I guess juices kind of mixed together and nothing happened, and it was yum actually.
Look,
I grab another one and I look at Zom in the eye and I say, "That's called proving a hypothesis, Zom."
that is not the way. Look, you're lucky it worked. You could be dead on the floor. All right, give me one of each. I'll do the same.
I start taking one of each type. I want to make sure I get the right amount each time. I knew this was going to be some sort of pharmacist puzzle. So,
Well, I mean, if you were paying attention at home, the yellow berries are soapy, kind of basic, kind of like choline. Then the other ones were acidic. Mix them together, it neutralizes it out.
Yeah, play to your strengths. I get it.
So if
So-
we had heartburn and we had a yellow berry, would we feel better?
No. No, you would be rolling for
If you're
berry
wa-
damage.
All right, so I'm just going to make sure I take an equal amount of each. I'm going to pass a couple to Zom. I'm going to pass a couple to Bob. I'm going to say, taste it.
Yeah.
See for yourself. We got plenty here. I would imagine you got 74 of the blueberries. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how many of the yellow berries can I get to go with that?
Are you going to actually try and get one of each, like one for one?
Yeah. I'm gonna try and make sure I get one for one. So if I don't know how many are here, but
Well, if you,
They're a bit
I'm just
bigger.
thinking-
It's pretty plump. There's plenty of round.
if you roll a D100, we'll see.
well, I want the DM to tell me that before I start just rolling D100s.
Oh no, I think
6 D100s.
I would think that if you sort of like see Zom's bowl, you can probably get within 5 to 10 the same amount. So roll a d20.
Oh, that's kind of
So you get 78 of the yellow berries.
78.
Because Zom had 74, right? So you've gone, and was 0, gone 4 extra. If you had rolled 6, you would have had 70.
Oh, but
For
what
less
about the
than 10.
poison on the spears? The berries used for that.
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, because I know he wanted to use some for poison, so I was gonna
Oh,
get
actually-
some
Bob
other.
will grab a couple of
Yeah.
handfuls of the blueberries.
I think I
There are
already
also-
did use
there
some
are
for
also-
the spears.
There are also... There's also blue berries in this tree here. It's like a
Yeah.
big tree
Okay.
with a vine that sort of wraps around it. The yellow berries are on the vine, the blueberries are on the tree.
So 78 yellow berries.
Well, I already used some of the blueberries for the spear tip things.
That's fine. I'll make it up with what I can get here. I'm sure there's enough to make up for it.
I mean, you guys can... You want to spend the time to specifically go through...
How long a walk was it from the beach? A couple 100 meters, less? 5 minutes?
Yeah, if that.
We can always come back. Let's go check out that other path. There's nothing else to see or do here.
Yeah.
Another clearing
All
of
right,
the
let's
tree.
go check out that other path. Let's see how our old mate Graham
Iris.
is doing.
Iris, there's plenty of birds left. You sure you don't want to kill any more? No, let's leave. All right, let's go check out the other path.
As we
That's
leave, Bob
ridiculous.
just practices and
What-
fires off an
what
Eldritch
scientific-
Blast.
What scientific reason would I have to use Eldritch Blast on the other birds?
You're just starting to seem trigger happy to me. Come on, good fellow, come on. Good
think
lass,
it's a bit
fellow,
presumptuous.
whatever.
All right, and we'll take the last path.
Hang on, I'm just... one of you is talking to me.
Is Bob firing Eldritch Blast as well? Sorry, I didn't catch that, Chaz.
I just said, as we were leaving and, Iris and Zom were arguing about bird killing, Bob just had a practice shot just to see if he still had this magic thing that Iris keeps flashing about the place, because he's still not sure what's happening.
Shoots up into the sky.
I was going for a bird, don't worry. It's no fun if there's no target.
Alright. A fallen branch initially blocks your path down the track. As you put your weight on it, Zom, to clamber over it, gives way beneath your touch with a loud wet snap. It hits the ground, hundreds of beetles and termites flow out from its rotted core. The path is hard to make out, covered in detritus and overgrowth. It is the least clear of the paths to follow. It still remains relatively simple to follow to its end. The clearing that awaits you is smaller, encroached upon by the forest surrounding it. Just to the left of centre stands a large yet dead tree. It is wrapped with a thick, blossoming vine. Plump yellow berries in clumps populate the vine densely. A number of small, bright bluebirds dart throughout the dead branches, picking at the berries with their beaks. At this point, the smell of rotting bird below the tree becomes apparent to you. Despite the varying degrees of decay, you can see a number of bright yellow feathers throughout the mass underneath the tree.
Yeah. Well, I think we know what happened here.
It would appear so.
Don't mix the
I-
colours.
Truth be told, I was expecting, say, red berries or something.
I mean, do mix colours, don't do the same colours. But that's all we see. There's another clearing, another tree.
There's no sign of that. No sign of that cat creature. That's
No.
The beast
Roll
thing, yeah.
a perception.
What?
another one.
5 to 9.
Not only that,
It's,
but look at this. The second one's still pretty.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
It's a large fern leaf blocking part of the sort of the edge of the edge of the forest. It kind of looks a bit out of place. Quite a big frond.
Like it's been intentionally placed.
Not necessarily intentionally placed. It looks like it could have maybe fallen from another tree and sort of blocked off a bit of the edge of the jungle there.
I'm just going to check out over here. It looks like there's something over here, and so I'm just going to wander over to that side, wherever it is.
And as you get to there, you're going to touch it, pull it
Yep.
away, look at it. What do you?
Yep, I'll touch it, see if my hand goes through it. I have seen illusion type things before.
So you put your hand on it, push. It's there, but it sort of gives way. It's got a little bit of give to it.
Can I just lift it and move it to the side?
It's a leaf that's fallen off another tree, and behind it is a thinning in the jungle wall. It's still a wall of roots and palm tree, like the trees and the vines. It's still thick. You think that this is probably the next best spot that you've seen aside from that rotting tree that you had to go at before. Maybe burst your way through the jungle here.
Then I will give that a go.
Strength check.
Similar manner as before.
Do you wanna- Bob, do you want to give him a hand?
Sure.
I'm not particularly strong. I don't think I'd assist much. My shoulder's still hurting from the last one.
Zom's not very strong either.
Are we
Despite
moving
being an
this,
elephant.
or are we trying to push something down?
Either
Is it
or. I
just
think
a-
we're probably gonna. I think we're gonna try and push it inwards.
Bob will lower his head and his horns, and he will do a ram charge.
And I'm going to throw an Eldritch Blast at the base of it as they're doing it to try and give them a little more oomph to their hit.
You roll that for me first to make sure it doesn't fail.
Eldritch Blast?
If it's a crit fail, you're going to hit one of them. So
Pretty sure I just... There we go.
cool. Yep. All right. Fine. Yeah. You don't hit them. You guys want to roll strength checks?
What? Another
The
one.
wrong spot though.
Do you? Who's charging first at it?
Well, I think the idea is that we'll try and hit it at the same time.
All trying to hit in the same spot at the same time. So Bob, you run in first, and you kind of using your horns, and you kind of get a bit wedged, and then Zoms just comes in from the side, and you crack it, and you dislodged some of the roots, and there is a gap that you think could probably the jungle, but I mean, as you sort of make the gap is probably big enough. Large shadowy figure appears in the distance.
Obviously in Ice
Perhaps.
land, so it's just
How far in the distance?
Oh, it's hard to say, but you just sense its presence. It's
Is it the cat thing?
the cat thing.
Alright. Iris, having seen this now for the very first time, kind of take a step back and go, whoa! Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty! Kitty!
Just
Yes.
doesn't move towards you. It doesn't move away from you.
Come here, come on.
This is the. It's been
shoot down a
shadowing us
bird
the whole
and
time.
then lob the bird towards the.
Yeah, I just kind of like dangle one of the birds I had hit with the Eldritch Blast, one of the bluebirds.
And from this distance, you can't see anything. It just sort of stays there, looking at you still.
Okay.
How much time would
Now,
pass while we were piss-farting around doing
You
this?
guys have probably been here for about an hour.
And with the sun, is it starting to... Like,
Starting to get a bit heavy on the horizon.
what's the
Probably
distance
looking
back
at
to
about-
Ramrod?
To Ramrod is probably like a 10-minute walk along the beach.
Okay.
We haven't gone far.
We haven't done much.
no, he's working away and he can hear blasts.
You can hear some. What are you doing?
Well,
God damn it! Life is sacred.
You could potentially hear them. But obviously he's so focused on this shelter that
He's got his headphones
Yeah,
on.
Yeah. All right. There was another path down the beach. Perhaps we should head down that way. Should we try further here?
you guys want to step through the
I'm.
hole.
Can we
I'm of
step
the opinion
through?
that this creature that appears
could
to be
squeeze
shadowing us is some sort of guardian or sentinel of some sort. And were we to trespass it, it may attack or it may send word to something else to attack. I'm not sure. I would like to investigate further before we do this.
That's a good point. Hey, excuse me, are you going to attack us if we come into the jungle?
No, Iris.
It remains unflinchingly shadowy and distant from you.
Graham
I get a
notices
straight
the
answer out of
difference.
this thing.
Graham just asks, "What the hell's happening, guys?" Telepathically, of course. What can you see?
Found a
There's
hole.
a cat. The
Yeah,
big
the
cat.
The big cat.
Have you tried
Like
giving
a-
it a bird
Like
yet?
a puma.
Did you throw a bird to
I
it?
tried the bird. It wasn't interested.
It's
Who are you
not a
talking to?
puma.
Clearly not a puma.
Sorry, this was a red versus blue joke that I just decided to.
Throw out there.
Never mind. Yeah. It's a big cat, like a puma. You're making that up.
Zom just wraps his trunk sort of gently around Iris to goad her away from the path and back towards the beach.
So you're gonna say away from her partner.
Just for clarification, you guys made that hole in the wall. Like I'm picturing like right at the back of the clearing. You're not actually
Yeah,
close.
so it goes further into the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then as soon as we made that hole, we could see the cat. So that's given us pause.
You've stepped back.
Yeah, just like the cat.
Cool.
Pause.
Pop back out on the beach and see Graham fishing away. Caught anything?
I don't think so. Have I caught anything?
As of yet, you've only been gone about 10 minutes. You've only been trying for
Uh,
20 minutes.
we went
Hey,
into
Hendrix-
two clearings,
Hendrix blasting
we
left, right, and
shot
centre.
birds, we rammed trees.
Not sure how recently you've been fishing, but I've never
I'm
caught
spearfishing here.
spearfishing in like wavy water.
And the fish are probably...
You're
like
actually
that
going
here.
into the water, presumably, seeing as you've sent shortest member of the party spearfishing.
He can swim.
Hey man, he knows what he's doing.
Don't be
He looks
sizist.
more like coral or something like that, and so the fish will be more likely to ignore him.
Sure they will.
He's
You
got
know,
some
not-
seaweed in his pocket.
Confidence is 90% of the action here, and he seems confident.
Graham, the
I
grey
mean,
coral.
if you want to skip forward to the end result of the fishing, I'll let you do that now with a survival check.
All right.
No. Let's do the individual fishing.
Damn.
Much like most times when I've been fishing, I'm not going to catch anything today.
Damn. Oh well. That's that then.
So, what do you guys want to do? I mean, the beach continues this way, or you could go back
Yeah.
and check on Ramrod.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Go back further down the beach.
Going down the beach.
Well, look over
Yeah.
here. Graham can either
Yeah,
come with
we've-
or fishing.
We probably realise that we've used up a bit of time now, so I don't know. Are we going to make a bit more haste?
I mean, we've got food, we've got shelter, we have water that'll make us sick, but do I feel more rehydrated from the berries I ate?
Is the juicy berries going to count towards our fluid intake?
Daily quota. I think for the quantity that you would need to eat to be hydrated by them, you would certainly lose any benefit from them from the crippling diarrhea that you would get from eating that many berries.
Can we go Bear
general,
Grylls
like,
and start drinking our own piss? Or
I
each
don't
other's
have-
piss?
I don't have
Hey,
any
you put
ideas
us in this
for that.
situation, DM. You're gonna have
Yeah,
to make
I
it up
gotta
on the
do it.
fly.
What are the piss stats?
I'm gonna do the same for.
Is human
You wanted
piss
to
more
try.
nutritious than goat or elephant piss? Or,
Yeah, is it worth us swapping our piss around?
like, would the nutrients
it is
that
not worth
Dom
you swapping
doesn't
your
absorb be beneficial for Bob and vice versa? The electrolytes. It's what Zoms crave.
Well, I'm saying currently what I'm saying is you're too dehydrated to urinate. Barely drunk today.
Are we so dehydrated that our hallucination minds are thinking that drinking urine is starting to become a good idea?
Are we
Okay.
also required to tell you every time that we take a drink? Is it? I thought it might be assumed that if we have water on us, we'll just
Just
drink it when we
sort of-
feel the need.
Are you just guzzling
Yeah.
it down? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys are moving along the beach here.
Yep. With spears in hand.
There's a beige square.
As
far as you can-
square.
As far as you can tell, it's part of the cliff face.
Is that an adult beige
Nothing.
square?
See here.
I think that's the colour of our piss if we could do it.
You push forward along the coast. There's a small patch of beach remaining. To your far east here, there's a steep, insurmountable cliff covered in loose rocks. It's quite steep. You would not picture that climbing it would not end well, and the top is thick. You can't see a point where you could actually get to the top of it. The jungle sort of curves over the edge of it. Sort of plants sort of hanging out at a bit of an angle. And that's on the other side of this small bay. Your left, over here, there's a large cliff face that rises from the sand. There's a few seabirds making their nest in the various nooks and crannies on its rough surface. As you reach sort of this point where you guys are, or stopped in your tracks, some noises. Sounds like people talking, or
Common?
beings. Beings talking.
Can we understand? Can we understand what they're saying?
No. No, oh, hang on. Let me just double check something.
Just quickly, did the berries have any healing properties at all, or was it
They're just sustenance for you.
right?
Just checking the languages that are cumulatively spoken. None of you understand what's being spoken.
Okay. You guys hear that?
Would we recognise it as something that would typically be more hostile? Or
It kind of, I mean, the tone that you get are people just sort of, what would it be? Just casually chatting, basically.
it's not like if an American heard some Arabic speech in the distance and they start, shitting themselves and putting their juice.
Durka.
It would be kind of similar to if you were a office in the middle of
A beach.
a country that you don't understand the language of, like in the middle of a Brazilian office place, and people are talking there.
Ah,
In that
Zom.
case, Bob's like, we're
Great.
saved!
Bob,
Here, Portuguese.
I think their printer is down.
Pizza
Someone printed
logo.
out a whole lot of A4 pages in A1 today. It was hilarious.
Judith in marketing is really upset. Okay.
You guys don't get the tone.
I think we need to.
You guys get it like just a bored, like kind of whatever kind of tone from them. It's not aggressive. It's not.
Should I go say hello?
Yeah, Bob's already.
Graham
over
kinda
there. We're
just
I
saved!
think we need to be
Life.
Sneakily,
stealth. Oh, Jesus.
No.
Graham says, "Wait, in
Are you guys just rushing
telepathically."
forward?
Telepathically, Graham says, "Wait."
I hear people! Excellent! We're saved! We're way off this beach!
Bob, could you just roll a? Oh, I don't even know. As you're talking, okay, you guys are walking across those rocks. Bob, you're walking fast towards them,
With my clippy
or
cloppy
just
hooves.
normal paced. You're
Oh,
clipping copy
normal
hoofs
pace.
indeed.
But like, eagerly going,
Tone of
voices! Maybe
tone
they got
of the
water,
voices
food.
change.
Maybe they want my autograph.
Maybe they want,
Tone of the voices
maybe they
to
want to see me
silence
toss.
as they hear. The tone of the voices changed to silence.
Do I see him yet? No,
So
the
clip
trees in
copy
the way.
hooves. The trees are in the way. You can't see them yet.
And so did I
Should
hear
have put them on my
Graham
DM
tell me
layer.
to...
Graham notices that they go quiet, and he kind of tries to hide himself somewhat because he's now concerned that the other people are also trying to hide themselves.
Who's trying to hide themselves here?
Graham's
Iris
trying to
casts
hide himself.
invisibility on herself.
Zom's also trying to hide himself.
Okay,
as
Zom,
best
you
he
can roll a stealth check with advantage because you've got some like pretty neat big boulders there to hide behind. Okay, you're hidden. Iris is invisible. Graham,
He's
Stealth
trying to. Yeah.
you're hidden. Bob, are you going to try and hide?
I was gonna say,
I pushed Bob down behind the rock.
I was gonna did Graham say to wait, don't sort of thing, and I was gonna say Bob sort of stopped
Yeah.
there and turned around and be like, what?
Okay,
So,
you want to push him
after-
down?
After we have just seen a big cat in the forest, we've seen, the whole place here. We've been attacked by crabs. You just want to go running up to the first thing that you hear? No, you fool.
Yeah, but the cat
Stay
didn't
where you are.
talk. These guys are
Are
talking.
you shouting? You guys
No, that's-
shouting, talking at normal pitch,
Oh,
or whispering?
No, I think it's
Dave whispered.
reduced pitch. I think it's pretty loud.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Some things
We're
surely you
having a
don't need
full-on
to ask.
domestic.
Well, just clarifying, because Bob did run straight towards them.
Fair enough, yeah.
I'm not. When I say I push him, I'm not like doing a hostile action push. I'm just talking like I'm bringing him down with me to kind of get him behind the rock.
Is he now prone? You throw him to the ground?
Iris sort of makes Bob sort of, when you feel like a weight on your shoulder that you are like, ooh,
Oh, look at that!
out the right size for Iris, and you just follow it down.
What the fuck?
Okay. Can you roll a stealth check, please, Bob? Hey.
No, I can't.
Well, you rolled it.
Can you succeed on a stealth check? No.
You guys step onto the beach. They are looking in your direction.
Bob, you've given yourself away. You might as well stand up and say what you need to say. They don't know the rest of us are here.
Late.
So, I'll pop up and dust myself off. Guys!
The one at the front sort of gives you looks at you as you're waving. Doesn't expect to see anybody here. It's a look of confusion on its face.
Guys, am I
Yeah,
so glad to see
something.
you.
It's sort of just.
No, don't worry, I'm not. I'm
And
here. It's okay.
guys, calm down.
Ah, you got mates. Excellent.
I'm gonna just go on the edge of the forest to this side over here.
This one on the end appears.
Where's he
And-
going? Sorry guys, do you
Now,
guys speak
you
common?
guys-
No speako dago. I guess that's not then. Alright.
And you guys would now rolling for initiative.
Oh, all right. Hot damn. All right, initiative it is.
Just Bob is.
Oh, technically yes, Bob would be.
Bob
hang on, let me-
blesses the world.
Hang on, I gotta clear this thing first.
A kobold soldier. I had no idea we were gonna fight one of these things.
Alright. Though, technically they're not kobold soldiers. Anyway, that's just the thing that was closest.
What? Another one.
Man.
Zom really shouldn't go first. But anyway, he is.
Well, you can hold action.
True, and actually it's probably not so bad.
Is that all of us?
Do you need me to
I'll
roll
show you
again
one
after you cleared it?
Yeah.
No,
20.
I can just, I'll add you back. Yeah, I'll add you back in.
You can change it yourself, I think.
Oh, I got
Yeah, you can change your own one.
Yeah, once you're in, but you gotta be in. So you gotta.
Alright, it's not in. Yeah.
Just roll it and I'll change it to 20. And they are now looking at each
Oh.
other.
Are they looking aggressive?
Oh yeah.
So they've got like weapons out or something, or they're just, pointing and...
Yeah,
who is this weirdo?
they're pointing and not I mean, you guys have caught them relatively by surprise.
Well, they only know about Bob, right?
As far as you know.
So do they don't know that Zom's here yet?
Only person that they see, Bob. You don't see them pointing at anyone else. You're watching
Right,
from way back there, looking, and you can see them sort of making eye contact with Bob. He's sort of standing there in front of a rock, like, "Hi guys, how's it going?" And they're all fixated on him.
But they don't have weapons out or anything like that. But they
They
do look
are-
agitated and
They are
particularly angry.
pulling swords out as you watch them do that.
Right. So Zom is going to, in the manner of Sully from Monsters Inc. Zom is going to all of a sudden jump out from behind the rock, be as tall and big as he possibly can, like ears flared out and stuff like that, and start charging at them with a huge, with his spear held out and stuff like that, to be as intimidating as possible.
Roll an intimidation check.
That is probably going to fail.
The heck? Wait a second, I've just lost the chat.
Please tell me the spear is backwards.
I mean, the spear wasn't really the intent. It was just
It just happened, and I've lost the
His
chat.
pants fall down halfway through the
Oh,
charge.
did you
rolled.
there's a thing in the top right corner. If you click on it, it can like docks it back in.
The sort of 3 lines.
Did
Yeah,
it
kind of.
undock itself? Because if it undocks itself, you can't put it back.
I think it pulled itself out, so I have to reconnect.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Let me just reconnect.
And
I
open
expect to
up
see an
all your
excellent-
character sheets again.
Oh, one of them. Hang on.
Oh man, I used to have like 8 of them open, and then I was like,
Well, I
okay,
mean-
I'll reconnect, and there they all go. Bring them all back.
You guys
Why
are
not?
level 2, so let me just.
I really struggle arranging everything on my page correctly with one character sheet open,
Yeah.
and I've got a massive screen.
I'm running off of a laptop here with a small standard SA health screen attached to it. All right,
So it's
So
a combined
Zom-
17 inches, or
Zom, you roll a. Do you rush towards them? Ears
I'm-
flayed, trunk up. I'm presuming
Yeah,
you're
so-
like elephant noise trunk running.
yeah. So I guess similar to what's his name, the guy from Monsters Inc.
I haven't seen
Sully.
it.
The monster, Sully. Yeah.
Sorry.
But I thought just like an elephant charging, but the elephant stops and waits for you to run away, basically.
I mean, wow. I mean, it's impressive. And they look at you and they're like, oh. See, there's 2 people there. Haven't intimidated them necessarily. You've surprised them. You've not intimidated them.
Yep.
Now they're-
Yeah. Thought. Anyway.
And you rolled a 9.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just some of the stats don't quite match what I would imagine an elephant to have, such as the strength, for example.
Yeah. You're technically not an elephant, though, are you?
No, but
Maybe-
I'm
Maybe you just did it
larger
really slow.
creature.
Yeah. You're also
You like,
wearing.
you like took your time to get up, and you like
Yeah.
and you like ran around the rock. You like it took
You're
like
wearing,
6
you're wearing
seconds.
robes. You're wearing like Hessian robes as well.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else you want to do, or are you just gonna
Sulk.
intimidatory?
I am going to. Oh, because I can't use any spells. I'm going to hold my action.
It's going to be the trigger for your action. And what's your action?
I'm going to hold my action. Well, until they move close enough. So two things, I guess. And once they move a bit closer, and once someone else has already attacked.
So when they move within melee range, or when they just step towards you?
Are you throwing your spear or are you holding it?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I'm actually thinking I'd rather throw the spear.
Oh.
So just once they are ready to start moving towards us, and someone else attacks, then I will loose my spear at them, with the intention of being able to pick it up later on, hopefully.
Might say within 20 feet.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
And
sorry,
that's
we're
all I can do.
Alright.
Graham, you turn next.
So these rocks out here, are they sort of like really tall? Does Bob reckon he could get up one of them with his 35?
Probably not.
No? What about this one?
You'd probably get on top of that one.
So basically everyone's going to see Bob going, ah, they're not friendly, they're not friendly. He's going to bugger off back to over here. And I think this is correct, but correct me if I'm wrong. So it's going to be like, ah, that one there, I really don't like him. I thought he was going to be my friend. Curse on him. And so as a bonus action, Hex.
Ooh.
And so I've cast a spell as my bonus action, which means I can cantrip as my attack.
Ian, don't think you can unless you can do.
So your bonus action is a spell. You can only do a bonus action as a spell if your action is a cantrip.
Yes, which Eldritch Blast is.
Yep.
And I'm gonna rear back.
So you look this first one in the eye here, and you go, I don't like the cut of your jib,
Curse
brother.
on you.
And you, one hand, as you're saying, don't like the cut of his jib. You see his eyes sort of wince a little bit, and you throw this ball of energy that, again, you're still not quite sure how you're doing, and it boom hits him, us him. They just click on
I clicked on
the
the
Eldritch
thing.
Blast bit. Yep. So that's 3 plus
That's
9.
the extra.
That's the extra.
So 15 total.
He sort of looks at this ball of energy coming towards you, because as he winces with the first sort of thing, as you shout, you don't like the look of him. Winces, it hits him. He knocks on the ground dead.
Is anyone else having a harder time hearing Potsy right now?
Potsy is a bit quieter than normal, yeah.
Hang on, maybe my mic's a bit further away than normal. Is that
Oh,
better?
that's better. Yep.
I was in a meeting the other day and the lady had her mic like this, and everyone kept on saying she was muted, and she was like losing her shit. She's like, I'm not muted. Why can't anyone hear me? It's pretty funny. Anyway, digress.
You get my bloody microphone, you can hear the kids downstairs.
Bob, it's end of your turn. I don't think you can do much else.
Pretty much. I just did a little dance because I appear to have vanquished someone for the first time.
Yeah, congratulations
Quite
on your
chuffed.
first kill. Graham, you feel a small ring on your hand just to warm slightly as you do that.
Pleasing warm or unpleasant warm.
Just not an unpleasant warm, just a slight warm. It's kind of like almost like a warm hug.
When what happens?
He kills that first lizard.
I just
These-
the lizards aren't in the. Sorry, the kobolds aren't in the turn order. So Zom's never going to have his.
I closed it off because I
Yeah.
rolled a 4.
We would have gone 3 rounds before the DM noticed he wasn't getting an attack.
Just thinking that Zom was never going to throw his spear.
Right, Graham.
Did Graham? So the tree that's just here.
Sorry, I
Would
didn't-
Graham be?
Yeah, you go first.
Right. The tree that's just here. Would Graham be able to just climb up there slightly undetected? What,
Yeah,
undetected?
Able to give it a shot, that's for sure.
Thanks, DM.
Right.
He's going to do that.
A dex and a stealth check. Dex to get up, stealth to do it quietly.
What am I doing?
You get up that tree pretty quickly.
With a bit of noise.
It's not. You're certainly not quite getting up that tree.
He feels like it was pretty quiet. Don't worry about that. He feels like it was pretty quiet. He's gonna.
In the tree.
I'm gonna go get some
Yeah.
headphones because my other one that died. I'll be back.
He's gonna go. He's gonna sit there, hold his action for these guys to approach. If they get within range, melee. Well, can I hold? No, you can. I was gonna say if they get within melee range, which means they need to be effectively there.
You need to be up a tree.
Yeah, well, what he was going to say, he was going to drop down and effectively do a melee attack directly onto their heads.
You need to be a successful acrobatics check first to land in such a way that it inflicts that damage.
Or he could just drop down with his spear straight onto their heads.
Again, you'd need to do an acrobatics check to make sure that you don't land. And it's not something you could just do. It'd be something you'd have to try to do.
Don't monk shit.
Okay, well maybe he's just going to throw his spear if they come within range.
And you're back with us? Yep. Twisting. So, when these guys move towards you, Zom and Graham are both throwing a spear. Correct?
Yep, when they get within 20 feet.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to target the one closest.
Iris, before you go, I didn't properly describe these guys first. So ahead of you stand a group of... Other way to describe them, they look like lizards. Pedal lizards. They're about 4 or 5 foot tall. Green. They have sort of simple armor from what appears to be sort of like things that you'd commonly find in the jungle and on the beach. One of them has a sort of a hip shield made from a turtle shell. But they're armored with, you see the glint of steel of a sword that they're all reaching for now. And yeah, you don't understand what they're saying, but they're probably about 4 or 5 feet tall, about similar height and build, a bit stockier and stronger than Iris, who is now at the ready. What are you going to do, Iris?
She is going to. Where'd the other one go? Did it die?
Died.
She's going to cast Charm Person on the one closest to her. Wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
It does so with advantage. Yep. So it resists, and I believe because I
Yeah.
cast a spell, I am now visible.
You are now visible. First one here, sort of. It looks at Bob, looks at the elephant thing in front of it. The eyes pass over the tree where Graham is in, and it sort of turns and whacks its friend. It's now pointing at you as well, Iris.
I just kind of wave, hi, and then just kind of like look coyly back at Graham, who looks like he's gonna do a much better job at the combat.
Graham's in a tree. You see him though.
Yeah, like
This one takes a step forward. Zom,
Loose.
throw your spear.
I'm assuming I'll just do a spear attack. Is that right?
I think so.
Because I can get a bonus action if I attack with a martial weapon. If they were within melee range, would I be able to drop down as a bonus action as part of my held action?
What do you? Oh, I don't. That's a tricky one. Ian, what are your?
I was not. I was setting up my spell slots.
Hey,
What was
so
that?
Graham is
So I have-
Graham is in a tree, and he wants to drop down to as a melee attack when they're. So he's got a held melee attack.
Yeah, when
He
they're
wants to
within
drop
what?
down from
10
the
feet?
tree within they're in melee range.
Yeah, okay.
And then take a bonus
So-
action afterwards.
And then can I take my
No, you
bonus
can't
action?
You can't
Which is
hold a bonus action and an action.
bonus action is yep. All good.
Although if the bonus action is triggered by the attack action, which you're holding,
Oh,
Well, it is.
Roll a
Bonus
roll a
action is triggered by the attack.
yeah.
I'll
Like
do
if
four.
it was Great Weapons Master and you killed someone, therefore you get to have a bonus.
Because
You throw your spear and it glances at their arm, cuts one of their arms. This one at the front here. You see it like it gets a cut, it's its skin. This poison or the berry juice sort of as it spear grazes past, you see the blue staining on its green skin from where the berry probably got through the skin, maybe the berry juice and its arm.
oh bother.
Pick your strengths line, alchemical usage, big guy.
Agree.
And seven attacks with a 7.
No.
Miss. And the other one is going to
I was going to.
back on and move to there, and so it's standing in the breakwater. It's a sling out and throws a rock from its sling to use on.
Ooh, 23 hits. Oh. Zom falls over.
As Zom falls, you see this one in the water jumping up and down.
Didn't you do a healing spell after the crab battle, or have you got fuck all hit points?
I had 5 hit points left out of 13.
But you healed yourself after the crab battle, so what else attacked you in between then? You gave 7 to me and 7 to you from a healing spell, you said. Or was it 6?
Do you give a healing
no.
spell?
I was only able to give 7 to one of us.
Oh,
Because I didn't read it correctly, because it's, hang on. It was healing word. So it's and it's verbal. So I think I was able to do that without the use of the stone. And yeah, it's one creature. Which, I mean, I don't know why I didn't do that again, though. I thought I couldn't, to be honest.
No, you couldn't do it without the stone, because the stone is what allows you to cast.
I thought if there was components required, like if it was somatic and what's the other one? Material.
His hands and his materials. So the focus would use the material part of any spell. So you don't actually need material. Just choose your spell. Because I think I had that wrong. I think I said you needed to have it to cast any spell. But I think the arcane focus is purely for anything that requires an end spell or material.
Okay.
So verbal and
For-
somatic, you don't.
For general items, if
Alright,
it says
yeah.
you need 3,000 gold of diamond, then you need 3,000 gold worth of diamond. But if it says you need like a feather from a newt, then the focus covers that, or the component pouch.
I mean, that's pretty rare as well. You probably do need one.
Okay, well, if that is the case, Zolm, I'm going to presume that you would have asked that upon yourself. The
Okay.
bonus action.
I probably
Please.
actually would have used Cure Wounds instead then. Because Cure Wounds is V and S. Same as Charm Person.
Okay, well, in that case, if that's what Ian reckons, that's what I will go with,
Not only that, but Poison Spray,
which you had already used.
Chill Touch, yeah, Guidance, I think.
Alright.
Yeah. I can use all of my spells.
So what's your skill, arcane focus for then?
I
Create
don't know.
food and water. The ones he didn't
Yeah,
say.
I mean, to be fair, I've only got a very small list of spells at the moment, so. Alright, so do you want me to? I'll do a Cure Wounds then and see what that
What?
comes up with.
It's going to read about arcane focus. What are they?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. I don't know if a druid actually has one. An arcane focus is used in the place of the material components for a spell, as long as those components do not have a gold cost, nor are they consumed by the spell. So yeah, you can do all your spells. Unless it's like a gold, something that is 500 gold pieces, or
Right.
something that's consumed by the spell. So, you're good. Are you going to give yourself Cure Wound 7 points?
Yes, I have done so already.
It was
so
done
it's
on the
not-
beach previously, I remember seeing that. Cool.
Yep.
Now you're down to 7 HP. This guy's still jumping. in
You
the
mean
breakwater.
I'm up to 7 HP?
He's still jumping because he's never hit anybody with his sling before, so he's pretty pumped.
So, Simon, the intent, my held action was to throw the spear and then try and jump down, but if I can't do that, I'm obviously not going to jump down.
So you're just going to throw your spear at
Yeah.
this guy here. But technically,
Yeah.
that would have been before he hit Dom as well, so
Did you want to drop down and hit him with the spear?
Doesn't really matter. Not from there anyway.
see what your spear's got in it. Throw your spear. Are you throwing it or are you swinging it?
Throwing it.
It is hard to judge distances and angles from when you're up in a tree and you throw it and it lands at his feet and he surprisingly looks up.
Sorry, what did it say?
Alright,
Graham's not used to throwing his spear.
It's a complex language.
it is. Zom, you're up.
Alright, well, with my... now that I've remembered that I can do things, I'm going to poison spray. Now, hang on. It only has a range of 10 feet. Okay, no, the one straight in front of me, I will
Here.
poison spray. Yeah.
Constitution saving throw.
Yep, 12.
You release a virulent disease upon the creature, COVID-like.
From his trunk, this
Extend
green.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it as your trunk. Can you change the poison spray description so it's your chunk?
I can.
What's the creature and you? And it drops to the ground. Shouldn't have deleted that first one. Back actually. Anything else you want to do?
Oh, hang on. No, I think everything else I've got to do is a full action, so I'm going to... Actually, yes, I'm going to move towards the other one, because if he's got a ranged weapon, then... I keep doing this, don't I? Oh well, it's too late.
Move there. You know the Gaon, right?
Yes, that's why I'm saying I keep doing this, but the best course of action when he's a ranged weapon is to get close to him.
Druid tank.
You're up. Him. Rebound Garion is next.
So Bob's going to give that guy the stink eye and go, actually, I hate you more now. And the hex will move across to him as the bonus action.
Eyes sort of looks like he's just sucked on a lemon and
Rip back another pitch. Curve it round. Zom.
and
I'm
yeah,
assuming that hits.
or your ball of energy hits him square in the chest. That looks at you
Plus
pleading.
six.
Slumps into the water.
Bah. Yeah, another one.
Guys,
I'm getting good at this. Check that out, Iris.
Pretty good.
as out of initiative.
Wasn't there another one?
Guys,
Ran off.
see what I
It
did?
ran off.
Can we hear anything in the distance?
Clambered up that cliff that you don't think would be easy to climb up.
Not until Graham gets
Near
a couple of
impossible for
levels.
you guys.
Then he just runs straight up it with no checks.
Zom's going to grab his spear back as well.
As is Graham.
These guys look like they've
Raw
got
ham.
anything chunky worth taking.
Graham.
Iris, do these guys look like they got anything worth taking?
Is there a short sword there?
He's
Guys
gonna
can-
search. I guess she's gonna search this body. You want me to roll an investigation check for you?
Yes, please. Nearly done. Investigation.
Bob will be assisting if that matters to give advantage.
Yeah. Graham's looking for some stuff as well.
Hang on a second.
Have any shiny buttons or anything?
Just so is rummaging through Iris. You're rummaging through this one here. And as you're rummaging through the pocket, you find a potion. Red, you recognise it as a potion of healing. Which one?
probably hoping more for a bottle of water. At this
Tom, you looking through that one you're next to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Sorry, I was reading other things.
Investigation check.
Zom is rolling ridiculously well tonight.
Yeah. So you sort of roll his corpse over, you hear a swishing noise. And you notice on his got there that he's got quite a big sack of like a fluid water sack. It's pretty full.
How fortuitous. Little bugger.
Yeah, you had a in 20 chance, or in 22 and 20 chance of getting that. You did. Good job. Anyone else want to check the third? He's in the water, so it's a bit harder to search his body.
Yeah, why
I've got
not?
some water. Would you like some?
I love some. Thank you. She takes a big swig.
And
Oh,
Graham,
I'd like just
Yeah.
pause for a moment to make sure I don't throw up afterwards.
Graham, you rummaging around and find a trying to think what it would be. You find like
Short sword.
not a short sword. He threw it into as he fell. He threw it into the water, and it's out in the. You don't know. You can't see where it's
The
gone.
fish took it.
Yeah, it's too deep. It's too deep.
It was in the manual of raft building, was it?
Oh, it wasn't the manual of raft building, but you find a pouch, and in the pouch there's like berries and like a little bit of herby type stuff. Like it looks like just some dried leaves and a little bit of like you pick up something and you sort of squeeze it and it's sort of a bit gummy. You don't know what that is.
Squelch.
Yeah, it's like kind of like it's something you can tell that it's kind of like probably something you put in your mouth and you chew on it. It's just like a small little bag of lizard rations, basically.
I feel like all of us did not think properly about our character builds, and no one took medicine as proficiency. Like, this would have been really important, knowing Posse was going to be DM, but there were going to be a lot of pharmacological elements to his.
Yeah.
Guys are in chapter 1.
So yeah. Does Grant recognise what anything is, or is it all just a mystery to him? Does it have
You can do,
any
you
use?
can do a nature check.
Graham,
Oops.
did you find some herbs? Can I have a look?
And it's just a
Trying to see
bag
if
of
there's
random shit. It seems.
There's a
Oh,
bulging vein in the
components
middle of it
patch.
right now.
You don't need to spell focus anymore. It's a components patch.
Graham just hands them over to Iris.
What do I make of it?
Roll a nature check.
A nature check to
Actually, make
ascertain-
it a survival check for you, Iris. It would be a survival check.
Sorry, what were we looking at again?
What Graham
Bag
found on
of
the
crap.
code.
herbs and random stuff.
Yeah,
Right, because
You-
Zom has nature as a proficiency, so he's
You
probably going to
reckon-
be interested in it.
You know, like a little snack bag when you see one. You recognise that
Scroggin.
it's basically just Scroggin. Bag of Scroggin.
With some chewing gum stuck in there.
A bit of like chewing it, yeah. Like sap that you could, bit of honeycomb kind of thing you could chew on.
I put some of the honeycomb in my mouth and I throw the bag back to Graham.
Graham.
And it is delicious. Delicious honeycomb.
So,
Anything else you guys
there-
want to
Guys,
check out while you're here?
Bob's walking
Yeah.
around and like kicking him. Yeah, I got you, and then I got you. Yeah, I'm the best.
Your ring warmly sort of throbs with warmth again.
And do I notice
Sorry,
anything
go-
when I get to this point?
Which way are you looking?
Probably out at the beach, just going yatta
This way. This way. This way.
out in the ocean.
Right here. No, it's just an ocean. Seen a lot of it today.
Has anyone noticed that very opaque wall?
So this part,
I'm
As you
not
look
gonna.
here-
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say to Graham and who's next to me, say they had to come from somewhere. There's got to be an entrance somewhere into the jungle.
It must be up that
So-
cliff.
What if
We
they
sort of-
just came from a different part of the beach?
the
What if
shore-
what if they landed on the beach before us, wandered this direction, and while we were wandering, oh, never mind.
So that guy that ran off before of the four, he ran north or he ran east?
perception check?
He ran eastish,
from
I think.
Iris and Bob. Perception checks.
Proactive
You guys seem to
perception
be
checks,
working on it.
or
Just perception checks.
Oh, that was lucky.
Okay, so Bob, you look to the ground and you see the lizard trails running off. The one that ran off, he ran off this way. They get to the cliff, they disappear. Iris, and while you're sort of looking over that, you notice that there's some tracks coming back this way. Probably are a bit fainter from earlier in the day. Iris, you notice that there's a lot of foot traffic around this area here. And there's not really any footprints apart from the ones that you guys have done from where you've come from. Yours are the only footprints on this half of the beach. Detect magic.
Yep.
Once you get to here, you can see that there's over here. There's sort of a bit of a wooden bench, basically next to the cliff itself, the brown square there. Part of that has a magical glow to it, but it just looks like a normal cliff face, and you just notice that part of the cliff has a bit of a magical glow to it.
What time is it?
It's getting pretty late in the day.
Actually, that's a good point. It is getting pretty late in the day.
I wasn't implying that, but
Should we actually finish up pretty soon?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming
I
we were
think,
going to go back to base camp, do a bit of a poke around to sort of see what we see in this area. So
Yeah.
Bob sees the footprint sort of disappear over here and is looking around. I'm assuming he doesn't see anything.
Follow them up, and they sort of get to the cliff face, and then they're gone. You don't see anything else. Iris, you see the heavy foot traffic in this sort of gap in the trees in the spot in front of where you saw the detect magic. Can you do an intelligence check, Iris?
intelligence check. That is not good.
Unable to connect the two pieces of information that you have.
Unfortunate.
Something fucky's going on around here, but
That's hilarious.
look at the sun, it's
Footprints,
starting to go
they go
down. And
They go right into the cliff face. No, I
Graham's
don't know why.
reasonably good with perception, and he's looking around as well. He's thinking, "That's weird. Why is there all this foot traffic here?" So he's gonna have a closer look as well. Just following the path, the footsteps.
Zom's just busy trying to put his water sack on his back or whatever.
Let's see a perception check, Graham.
Come on.
Well, I'm quite perceptive, actually, Graham. You look around and you sort of see the little bench here, and you can kind of see that it's got some sort of sacks. Like there's some. It looks like people probably eat their meals there. Like there's like a little forks and stuff on there, and Then
Just gotta feel if it's warm or anything. If there's any evidence that it might be fresh.
I mean, recent-ish, probably earliest in the day, people are eating there. You'd say there's a sort of a pretty simple cup after there that's empty, sort of sitting on the bench. And from looking at the footprints on the ground, like, I would say this is some sort of guard post. You notice that there's a torch that's not been lit.
Hmm. He's just going to be looking around, wondering, kind of kicks the rocks around as he's walking around.
A rock, it rolls along the sand.
Okay. Doesn't happen to kick any rocks towards the cliff, perhaps?
Pick a rock towards the cliff, flies into the cliff. You expect it to make a clunky rock on rock sound. It makes a clunky rock on rock sound.
Okay. Yeah. He's just walking around, dragging his spear. Nothing to see here. He's going to continue on his way.
You gonna follow Iris back to Ramrod?
Yeah, it's getting dark. He's getting hungry. He wants to cook some crab pasta and get to bed.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Crab pasta.
Well, let's move you all back to beach here.
Oh my god! I mean, this is the first time Graham's really said much since we got to the island.
Look at that
And
beautiful.
I have it. It's a bit late in the day to describe what it would look like, but I'll come up with a description at some point. What the shelter looks like, but needless to say, Ramrod has outdone himself. I'm picturing there's at least one sort of the sleep area. There's a cook clean area. There's a, I think maybe even there's a
Spa area?
no, like a retreat to danger, like a safe room kind of thing. It's really
Pretty.
impressive. There's a fire going. The fire you smell seasoned crab, and as you get a bit closer, you can see he's actually managed to get the crab, make it like a quite as you suggested earlier. He's mixed some of the water with the flour, the seawater with the flour to make a delicious sort of salty, quite nice pasta. And he's made the crab with some of the herbs. So got a bit of a feast ahead of you tonight. No water, apart from the...
Has he desalinated any water? He's been, here all day. Could have evaporated some.
He's sitting cross-legged.
Um,
You guys...
Well,
Sit down.
we've got there's a stream like right next to us, really, like 10
Yeah.
minutes down the way. Why don't we
Just get some water, boil it.
get some fabric, get some water? Yeah, well, get some fabric, put some sand on the fabric, and filter this water into a pot, and then boil the pot.
Do we have a pot?
Although Zyme's got a ton of water on him.
Yeah, you got quite a bit of water on you, Zom.
How much water do I have on me now?
I would say that was probably that bloke was probably carrying water for that whole group. Probably had it on his side.
So
Yeah,
he would
so
have he would have the equivalent of 8 pouches on him.
I would say he had 4 gallons.
Okay,
That's
So
only enough
a
for
4
half a
gallon
person.
pouch. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
gonna
no,
do.
2 gallons is one person.
That's 2 people's water requirements.
But I am also going to say that because you guys have your water pouches that you brought with you, and you were very well hydrated from the night before. The effects of the
So well
dehydration
hydrated.
aren't starting until not after this next long rest, the one after that. So your second long rest will be the effects from the dehydration. I'm also saying that are you guys going to take a long rest?
That would be the plan.
Yeah, what could go
would
wrong?
assume so.
Just
I wasn't sure if we were going to
fast-forwarding
do that
things here
now,
and
or if you're going to wait till Isaac's back, and then we can do the excitement of divvying up rations and water, and then going to bed. We could
Yeah,
save that for when
taxing,
Isaac's
taxing.
in.
Yeah.
survival
Podcast
accounting at its
gold.
finest.
Streaming
And,
gold.
Do we
You
all
guys-
get the privilege of coming up with a cool name similar to the Stickstein Chapel?
Sure, you guys can do that in the non-DM chat and let me know what you want to call it. guys have a long rest. Is anyone going to go on to watch? Up to watch? Or...
No,
Well,
we're gonna
there's
go to sleep, mate.
5 of us, so we can
We can
take
do it.
turns, 2 hours light activities each, 8 hours sleeping, 10 hours long rest.
Is
Okay, you're going to divvy
I'm
up the watch.
I'm assuming that the structure that has been constructed has
Seamlessly.
built-in traps and so forth that we don't need to.
Not that
And
good
a
of
moat.
structure.
A moat,
That good of a structure.
drawbridge.
Not that good.
Graham's gonna try and set.
Elevated.
A trap using his proficiency with his thieves' tools. Just
of
like a
trap?
little tripwire using seaweed and some broken bits and pieces from the boats as like a little bell type thing.
Okay.
He's tested, yeah, just like a little tripwire around the perimeter.
Okay, as returned, I mean Graham.
I
What do you normally roll for setting traps?
don't know. I can roll that, that's not gone down well.
I think it would be a Ian, what do you normally do?
Sleight of hand or
trap
a
setting? Wasn't there just a?
Survival, wouldn't it?
It would be either a sleight of hand or a survival.
Survival to come up with the plan. Sleight of hand to set it. You've set your plan in action brilliantly, and your plan is quite good. Yep, you've got a bell trap require set up around your campsite. As you drift off to sleep, wake up, and you share your watch, you all feel invigorated from the effects of a long rest, the effects of a level up. Who would be the first to wake?
Graham's used to getting up early as a monk.
And as you wake, you stretch your legs.
He's just doing his like,
you come out of the
like
shelter,
the old people. So, yeah, go on.
and a perception check.
Nothing. See here.
The beach looks fine, entirely normal apart from 5 chests in next to your shelter. That's
Do
where
they have any arms, legs, or heads, or it's just the chest?
It is chests that we're going to stop at, and you guys can investigate the chests next.
Right, the same chest or new chest?
New chests, they're entirely... I'm imagining that the debris from this beach is also being cleared up by Ramrod. And now you've got like a nice shelter, and I might try and find a new map that is similar but beachy, and that I can do. But yeah, you find there's 5 just chests that are neatly lined up at the entrance of your shelter, all facing towards the shelter.
Inside or outside the perimeter?
Outside the perimeter. Actually, no. Your trap has been. They're inside the
Tripped?
perimeter. No, it's not being tripped, and they're inside your perimeter. That's what it would be.
Bypass.
There's 5 chests. Being there.
Graham thought he was so smart.
Do they have names on the
The
chests?
trap itself looks. We'll talk about that next week. The trap itself remains fully intact.
Good.
Well, that's where we'll leave it.
Level 3, I get a pact.
This is very, very cool. Level 3.
Or 3, that's it.
Now
That's where you guys start to get good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already
I'd
killed
start-
5 people tonight.
Guys have explored the entirety of the beach that you would be able to traverse now. No other beach bits to it that you'd be able to get to. You would feel relatively confident that the only other, as you tried to break in through the forest again, or went in through the forest, you could try to get in there again like you did tonight. Apart from that, the only other place that you could probably go would be up along the creek.
Yep.
Yes,
Along the
definitely
creek is
do
our
that.
next.
Or-
Yeah.
Or the ocean. Land across the other side of the ocean.
That just seems risky.
Need Agayon to build a boat.
If only. I mean, behind you, Agon would comment on the
Ascertain the
vast array
sailing.
of boats available.
Or Yin to cast Reduce on us all, and then we'll hop into one of those bowls from the Gnome and Dragon, the intricate carved bowls. Paddle with a little dessert spoon.
And then after I think an hour it is, you would all drown horribly.
So we're all level 3. We all know what we're doing. We've got some chests coming up next time. Cool.
You got some 5 chests sitting there.
Yeah. It's good.
10 titties.
Sweet.
Wait, what?
Cool.
10 titties. Oh, I get it. Yes, very clever.
Uh-huh. No arms, no legs, no heads.
Just
We stopped
knockers.
Like, I had to think way too hard about what you were trying to say. Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
I get
That's
it.
what I was saying before. 5 chests. No arms,
Yeah.
no legs. Yeah.